Hello everybody, I'm going to show you how to get FragStreet set up for CSGO. Now this is actually really easy to do. You go to this link to download the loader, which will be down in the description below. All you'd have to do is click on it and it will take you here to Mega. You want to click download. And it'll take a minute to download. Sometimes Chrome might block it, sometimes it won't. It didn't block it for me this time, but sometimes when it does block it, you want to click on show all, and there'll be a little button over here that says keep. But when you've downloaded it, you want to put it onto your desktop. You can close out of that. You want to right click and click extract to FragStreet. It'll ask you for a password. The password is just frag, that's all it is, and then you press enter. And you'll get this little folder right here. So what you want to do, you can delete the zip file now that you're done with that. When you open this up, you'll see two little things here. You'll have the loader and you'll have configs. So for the configs, this makes it a lot easier. You don't have to do this part, but it makes it a lot easier and it avoids a lot of problems. You want to right click on CSGO and Steam, click properties, go to local files and click on browse local files. It'll take you here. Now all you got to do is take this frag folder and drag it over here to Counter-Strike. I already have the folder, but those are basically configs. And when that's done, you'll have all the configs and stuff set up. Now with the loader, is actually really easy to use. You just run it. You'll see it'll pop up right here. Not all these games are currently supported. This is all for FragStreet for the paid version, but if you're using FreeStreet, just click on CSGO and click on load cheat. It'll take a second. It'll say it downloading the updated injector, and it will put it right here on your desktop right here. You want to put that into the folder right there. Now you want to start CSGO or whatever game that you're currently using. They do sometimes have FreeStreet running for different games. They had one for Rainbow Six, they had one for Fortnite, they had one for PUBG, they had one for TF2, Gary's Mod, all that. But as of right now, as of this recording, it only works for CSGO. I'll make a video if they make like a bunch of different ones. Once CSGO is loaded in the main menu, you can only do this in the main menu. Don't inject it if you're already in a game because you'll crash. Do it in the main menu. You want to right click and you want to click run as admin. I don't think it actually injects if you don't run as admin. And then when you're in CSGO, you press insert. And when you press insert, the menu will open just like this. Now you can go through and set all this up, but if you installed the configs from that frag folder, like I said earlier, you'll have these right here already. So you want to click on one of these and you'll hit load. I'm gonna go into a game real quick just to show you a little bit about what it looks like. Now, if you want to get the paid version of this, you'll usually see the developers or other FragStreet users, other paid users running around in casual a lot. Just ask them, hey, how much is it for an invite? And it's not really invite, it's more of an activation code, but ask them how much is it for an invite, and they'll usually say, you know, depending on what games you want for it, it can be, you know, $30 to, you know, for the whole package, it's like $300. But that's always lifetime too. Whenever you paid for the cheat, you get it forever. So it's not like a subscription thing. All right. So when you're in the game, you can load up any of these that you want. There's a legit one. There's a rage one, which is what you probably most of the time see everyone using. The rage config on this is actually really good. Again, this is FreeStreet, so it's not as good as FragStreet. And mine is actually a FreeStreet tester build, so yours might look a little bit different. But technically, if you load these configs, it will still give you features that you don't normally have. So I think in the FreeStreet version, you don't have a bypass vac off, and if you use this, if you use anti-aim and rage bot below 30, if you use aimbot field of view above 30 or whatever, and you have anti-aim enabled, which you might want to disable all this if you're using your own config. If you do all of that you won't get kicked. But if you use anti-aim, or you have aimbot field of view all the way up and you don't have bypass vac off, you'll get kicked if you're on like a casual server or a war game server. But if you use my config for rage, you actually won't get kicked regardless. You'll be fine. Just keep this one, the rage config. The rage on key, I think, is kind of buggy. It has issues with it. I haven't set it up completely, but this is the one that I generally use 99% of the time. And I think yeah, hold on, there we go. And you can just run over here and just slaughter these guys. And now you can do this on casual all day if you want to. It's all fine. I think V goes in and out of third person. I usually play, it's always good to play in third person when you're fighting other hackers or whatever. And most of this stuff is pretty much fully customizable. The accent color, I think, doesn't do very much yet. It needs to be worked on. If you have low FPS, click on this FPS boost button, but only click this button if you have low FPS. Otherwise, because there is some maps that it breaks half of the map. Shut up, counter terrorist. It'll break like half of the map if when you click on that, depending on certain maps. So only use that when you need it. So I'm gonna show you a couple little extra ins and outs here. So let's see, the hit chance and min damage for these in FragStreet is actually a little bit different. It's dynamic, where in other cheats it's not. In other cheats, your hit chance is how much chance you have to actually hit. In FragStreet, it takes distance into account and everything else too. So so if you're missing, turn the hit chance up. If you're shooting too slow, or you're not shooting at all, turn hit chance down. For the damage, this is visible damage, which means that you can actually see the person. Non-visible damage is the auto wall min damage. So min damage is the amount of damage you have to do, the predicted amount of damage you have to do before you actually shoot them. And for auto wall, I usually keep that a little bit lower than the visible damage. So if you're HVHing or fighting other cheaters, you're probably not going to get too far with the free version, honestly. But you want to use unkey if they're resolving. If they're not resolving, then use desync. There is a resolver in here, a resolver override key, so I'll bind that right now to mouse 4. And you'll see, let me show you how the resolver works. So the resolver typically works like this. If you look at someone, like if you look at me right now, see how my legs are kind of pointed in a weird way? Like if I use unkey, see how my legs move? That shows you which way that my reel is facing, right? So if their legs is pointed to the left, that means their reel head is off to the left. If their legs is pointed to the right, that means their reel head is off to the right. Now, let's see here. So see this guy right here? It's based off your crosshair placement. So if your crosshair if their legs are pointing to your right, put your crosshair to the right of them, and it will resolve their angles over here to the right when you press the resolver key. If their angles are off to the other side, you look over there. So it's based off your crosshair placement. If their feet aren't moving at all, then they're probably, if they have one tap or something and they're doing standing velocity, then just aim for the head, because it's basically useless anti-aim for them. Their anti-aim is basically useless. You kind of have to break your LB wide to have good anti-aim, and that's the reason this resolver is on here. Let's see, so that's pretty much about it. You got the configs, you got everything in here you need. If you want to change the colors, you can change the colors right here. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So that's FragStreet, or FreeStreet at least. It's pretty simple, like I said, to set up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them, leave a comment. If you have a comment, leave a comment. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up on a like button. I don't think that actually does anything as far as the algorithm goes, but it does let me know, what setup is working. I do need to know what is and is not working for certain people, but whatever. If you liked it, give me a like. If you didn't, give me a dislike. It's all good. Leave a comment if you have any issues at all. It's pretty easy to actually use this, but it might not work the same for everybody. And yeah, that's pretty much it.